record. So the recording has started. So again, welcome everybody. Tonight what we are going to be talking about is a concept called active wellness. And I'm going to share my screen here. Can everybody see this?
It's coming, not quite yet.
Coming?
There it is. Now
there we are. So discover active wellness and living a life in balance. And tonight we have an amazing story to be shared with a fellow from my hometown, Dauphin, Manitoba, who did discover active wellness and is working and achieving a life in balance. So his very powerful story is a testament to this concept. I would also like to add that we are independent consultants with a company called Nikken. We do not make medical claims, we share stories. And this is a presentation brought to you by us independent consultants. So with that, I'd like to share what we have learned over the time that we've been with Nikken. Maybe I'm going to share it. So when we have a look at our daily choices and habits, it definitely determines the quality of our life. And the choices that we make can either create a very healthy lifestyle where we become humans being more, where those small little choices that we make will actually compound us up. Or we can make those choices that create a lot of stress within the body, but not only the body, but the mind. And we start becoming humans under stress or humans being less. It definitely is a choice. The choices determine our behaviors determine our results. And small choices plus consistency over time will create a radical difference in our life, whether we become humans being more or humans being under stress. When we have a look at the health facts that we're dealing with today, stress, sleep, air, water, all of these contribute to what is available to us becoming humans being less. For example, stress impacts our heart, diabetes, fatigue, allergies, sleep, and weight gain. And even lack of sleep. Stress can create problems sleeping. 70% of Americans have sleep issues. And that could be due to stress. It could be because we just can't stop our life to slow down enough to turn the head off so that we can actually relax and sleep. And not only that, the sleep environment in which we're sleeping in can create a lot of stress on the body while we're sleeping. And if we're not getting into that deep reparative restorative sleep, the body is not healing and repairing itself. So that in itself can cause a lot of issues. And then what about the air that we're breathing? I am very, very blessed to live in a part of the world where I'm in rural Manitoba. We've got a lot of farmland, so there is chemicals in our outdoor air from the farm, but it is so clean and fresh. It is unbelievable. And when I went down to Orlando, it just reminded me how blessed I am, because the pollution in Orlando, I found as I was out walking, was choking. It was just horrendous. But it's not only the outdoor air that we're dealing with. We live a lot of our lives indoors, and quite often the indoor pollution is 100 times more than that outdoors. With the off-gassing from the paints, our furniture, our floorings, it creates a lot of stress on the body. And then what about the water that we're drinking? Or for the majority of North Americans, over 70% of North Americans who are dehydrated, who maybe don't even drink water or are choosing to drink an incorrect or imbalanced water for the body. So how is this affecting our younger generation? Obesity rates are at the highest, and this is a 2010 stat of 36% increase, obesity in our children. 1 out of every 5 adolescents. That is really, really scary. What is the problem? Half of them don't eat properly. They don't eat healthy. It's usually fast foods, quick, not the proper amount of vegetables, never mind fruits. Quite often, a lot of adolescents really do still consider ketchup to be a vegetable, or French fries. It is not. And then you have a look at the low-income family. You have a look at low-income families who are unable to afford good quality food to feed their children, or even good quality supplementation. And what about physical activity? I remember as a child, we were outdoors playing when we weren't in school or when we weren't sleeping. We were outside on the run constantly, playing hide and seek, skipping, playing road hockey, doing whatever, playing ball. We were very, very active. Not only that, we walked to school every single day, there and back. Imagine that. Imagine having kids or watching kids actually walk to school. How easy could that be if kids would just simply walk to school? That could make a huge difference. So what's the answer? We truly believe, and we have discovered, humans being more is the answer for us. And that is being healthy by choice, definitely not by chance, because it is the choices that we make that makes the difference. And we have chosen to become actively well. And that's a process through which people become aware of and make choices toward a more successful existence. So small little choices compounding over time can make a huge difference. Just like I said, if our kids would just simply walk from home to school, there and back, each and every day, that small little choice can make a huge difference on their well-being. Nikken looks at this through a holistic approach to life, and that is balance between a body, mind, family, society, and finances. And we believe that finding balance in all these 5 pillars, you will be living a life in balance, and you will find total freedom. You will be happy. You will be healthy. The healthy body can create a healthy mind, and vice versa, and thereby creating a healthy family. Healthy families create healthy society. And when you're stressed financially, do you not think that that contributes to the mind, and then to the body, to family, society? When I was first introduced to Nikken, I was suffering very badly in the body pillar and taking many, many prescription drugs. And just, I was snowballing down. I was becoming a human under stress. And had it not been for one of my customers when I was working at the bank loaning me a simple magnetic necklace similar to what I'm wearing today, I don't know where I would be today, because that made such a huge impact in my life that within 3 months I was completely drug-free. I'm very grateful to that man, and I'm very grateful to my youngest daughter to plead with me to please invest in this technology. And since then, I've helped many, many more people find their balanced lifestyle, because it's all our choices, what we need to be balanced. So what we do is we create wellness environments in which we live. We take the critical elements of life: air, sleep, water, food, and it says here light, but I'm going to extend that to energy, because it's not only light, and I'm talking about sunlight, but it's also the energy of the earth and the wind. So the light, the wind, and the earth. That is so critical to put our body into balance. And what people do not understand the importance of balancing the electrical system within the body. And in order to do that, we must have constant exposure to those natural energies. along with proper hydration. So if we do this, we can start putting the body into balance. Without having this electrical system in balance, the food that we eat is really not as effective as we think. And even the sleep that we're getting is not as effective as we need. So by making small little choices like applying a magnetic necklace and drinking good quality water can make such a huge impact on the body that the rest starts to fall into place. So Madeline, I would like for you, if you would, to please talk to us about these products that create this wellness environment or wellness home that I had just mentioned.
Thank you, Michelle. For those of you who may not know me, I'm Madeline Zaworski from west of Cleveland, Lorain, Ohio, and have been in nursing for 52 years and with Nikken for 19 years. And what I've discovered in the last 19 years of accelerating healing, reducing, finding that my customers, my family, myself, being able to take less medications, enjoy more energy, have a better quality of life have been profound. And so as Michelle stated already, and I'll be real quick about the product categories, because what I'd like to do is to integrate Ron. And Ron is a real good example. I started in a trauma center as a new graduate at a major teaching hospital, and Ron's story, and I don't want to take his thunder away, but to be able to reattach an amputated thumb and to be able to have kind of improvement, which he'll share in his story, is profound. And as Michelle mentioned, we are bioelectrical. So water is made up of 2 hydrogen ions and an oxygen molecule. So that's a combination of 2 pluses and 2 minuses. And of course, the magnetic field is a plus and a minus. The water that you see in the environment in the middle there, the water both in what we drink and what we shower in, and it creates more negative ions in the way the water is restructured as the water goes through the magnetic field. First of all, it's filtered at 99.9%, taking all the bad things out, but it's what is the good that put back in, or the way the water is restructured. It's made wetter water that gets into our cells better, helps transport the food, the air that we breathe, the oxygen back and forth so that we can take to the engines of the cell the best fuel, oxygen, most efficient use of those engines running well, and then take the waste out so the throughput improves, and therefore then the body improves. So whether you begin with just water and like the insole, rest and relaxation to the right there, very first product that Nikken had, and the only product for 5 years, was the insole. And that has improved from primarily a magnetic insole to having 3 of those energy technologies that Michelle mentioned. Negative ions through the use of tourmaline crystals, the far infrared, the bringing the light in through the use of ceramic tiles, and the magnetic field. Similarly, the flex pad, the funny looking shaped item that Michelle is pointing out there, they have the same 3 energy items. And so if you have those in the lower back and the insoles under the feet, a power band around the neck, a necklace, you're getting kind of from head to toe, helping that electrical circuitry. When you add the water that has been restructured and filtered and alkaline, and so the word that we use medically is isotonic to the body's cells, is like getting an IV that you get in the hospital with Ringer's lactate and quarter strength saline. So you have that throughput through your body that improves the efficiency of all the cells, faster healing, the productivity, and as old cells die and new cells grow, it's kind of in a very perfect greenhouse environment. So that's a segue into the flagship product. Michelle mentioned earlier that 70% of all people have difficulty sleeping. So we have a special little greenhouse. The magnetic mattress topper massages and has the technologies in it that are in these spot areas. And then the blanket has the sun energy along with the other 2 technologies. So when you're cocooned in your little sleep system all night long, you get that restorative healing sleep. You're able to deal with all the electromagnetic interfaces that we get during the day, like sitting in front of computers and the use of cell phones. So we really get our maximum effect with a good night's sleep. And we like to recommend that's where you begin, is with sleep and water. But for those that choose to begin with a few products, if you have insoles, a neckband, a sports bottle, which we don't have pictured here, and then one of the whole food nutritionals, the most powerful that we have isn't in the picture, and that's a jade greenzymes. We also have a very powerful meal, a protein meal and a vegan meal replacement, which has 6 greens in it. So we're not going to take the time this evening to cover everything, but skin is your first line of defense, and we have nutrition for the skin in EcoCert, including a special shampoo that has all these 3 technologies, and the quality of my hair and the thickness of it is better. So at age almost 70, I'm pretty excited about that. And then we have the good whole food, vegan, kosher, gluten-free, all the patented, many bio-directed and patented, a whole line of nutritional products. So that's kind of the fertilizer, the good air that's filtered in, the good water, the sunlight in the earth. And so that makes the whole greenhouse effect of the entire product array, which we have in a concept called a wellness home. So you can walk into a wellness home with insoles, and it's never ending. There's always new advances in technology, new additions. For myself, over 19 years, I've used every product except the pet products and the men's formula. So I know the impact that it has had on my body in the last 19 years. And so I think this would be a good time to segue into our product story, Michelle.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks, Madeline. That was really well said. I would also like to add that Nikken is a research, development, manufacturing company of wellness technologies. So like what Madeline was saying, when you start off, start to create your wellness home environment, whether that be actually at home and at work is equally as important. You can start this process. There's a beginning, but there's no end, because Nikken's always finding new technologies, new modalities to help keep that body good and strong and healthy and protected against our harmful environmental issues that we're dealing with on a daily basis. So Ron, would you like to unmute yourself and join us?
Sure, I'm here.
Hey, Ron.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. I see you're in here from work.
Yes.
Ron is coming from Dauphin, Manitoba, like I said, my hometown. He is a manager at one of the government buildings, so that's where he's coming to us right now. And he has got a very, very profound story, and it's quite ironic how his story is so very, very similar to mine in many, many ways. I didn't amputate my thumb, but I was in rough shape when I was introduced to Nikken. And Ron, I would really love for you to please share your story.
Thanks, Michelle. I know some of you, I see some familiar faces. It's good to see you again. Hi, everybody. I know I've said my story before. I've talked a little bit about it. Just over a year ago, I did amputate my thumb and 152 stitches. 2 surgeons said they couldn't put it back on. We met a specialist in Winnipeg. This took about a 10-hour trip before I even got there, and he was able to reattach my thumb. It wasn't cut off. It was tore off. That's why 2 surgeons said they couldn't put it back on. I lost 7 inches of the tendon out of my forearm. The 2 surgeons said that I probably wouldn't have any use with that thumb at all. Fortunately today, from a surgeon that believed he could do something for me, did something for me. However, during the healing process, and I'm still on the healing process, I've got about at least about a year and a half to go. They said it'd be about 2.5 years before I'm at where I'm going to be as best as I'm going to be. And it's pretty amazing because I've got mobility and the nerves are growing. But I was in such distress. I was on 3 types of pain medication, some of them narcotics. They were horrible, making me feel horrible. Not only that, my health was not well. I'm a type 2 diabetic. I was on high blood pressure medication. I was on cholesterol medication, all of them making me feel ugly and horrible and tired. And this accident, I'll say, happened because I wasn't getting proper sleep. I was fatigued, and that's what happened. I just didn't pay attention. I got caught off guard, and I lost my thumb on that. But during this process, I met Michelle. Very fortunate. Her husband was very persistent. He mentioned about Michelle and her wellness home. And I said, yeah, you know, okay, but I wasn't ready. And 10 months later, I basically had enough. And he came in and mentioned it again. And I said, you know what? I would like to meet Michelle. And Michelle and I got talking. And the first thing she gave me was a magnetic bracelet, which for me, it was very interesting because within 5 minutes, I felt a change in my hand. The nerves stopped the tingling. It was enough to give me that aha moment, something is happening, but I was still on all this medication. She also gave me water, and I keep forgetting this very important point, the hydration. So with that and the bracelet, within about 3 weeks, I was at a point that I started weaning myself off the pain medication. I got off the ibuprofen. I was probably on 500 milligrams a day. I was on I think it's called Tramadol, a synthetic morphine. And I was on gabapentin, which is a nerve pain medication. Within 3 weeks, I took 2 weeks after that, so 5 weeks, I was off all pain medication. And the bracelet was still holding. So the tingling was gone, the pain was gone. I was able to get better sleep at night. The only pain I have right now is because I still have to exercise it, and it's like going to the gym. You work out hard, you're going to have that exercise pain. That's a normal growth and restructuring process and healing process. And it was so fantastic that I decided that I was going to try the nutritionals. And I went on the Bone Health and the mushroom complex, and KVB and Jade Greenzymes with Michelle. During this time, I was injecting about 5 needles a day for my insulin, so 3 fast-acting, 2 slow-acting. And I kept telling everybody, my numbers are great, my numbers are getting better, I'm having consistent days. But that was just me with my little meter and doing my own little checks. On Tuesday of this week, I had a blood test 9 days ago. Tuesday of this week, I met with my doctor, and he walked in with the biggest smile on his face, and he said, I don't know what you're doing. You got to tell me what you're doing, but you got to keep it up. In January, my A1C was 11.4. On Tuesday, my A1C was 7.9. And he said he's never seen that much of a drop in 3 months. My high blood pressure, my LDL dropped 1.5 points. It's sitting at 3.5. Madeline would know more about this. And it's so close to the normal range. I think 3.4 is the high end of the normal range that I'm not, he doesn't want me on any cholesterol pills. And my blood pressure was 125/80, which is also in the normal range. And he doesn't want me on any of those. So I'm off all medication. I'm still on insulin, but I've dropped 3 of the fast-acting shots a day, and I'm taking less than half of the slow-acting. And I know if I keep this up, I'm going to be off insulin and be able to maintain it through proper nutrition and meal portion size and exercising. I'm doing it all, but I started out in baby steps, and I'm just ecstatic. I just can't say enough. Michelle knows, because when we sit down and talk, I can't shut up about it. And sometimes I should, because she's supposed to be doing the talking. But it is exciting. I just can't say enough to anybody that this really works. And I want people to know that this really works, so that they have a chance and a choice to try it. Because believe me, the numbers were in the science on Tuesday for me with that blood test. And I also got a call from the diabetic clinic, who I see they call me about every 4 months, and I usually see them every 6 months, because my numbers were high. My morning numbers were 22 to 29, which is very dangerously high, which can cause all complications. He was very excited about it. And he also asked me what I was doing. And I explained to him, because he said, okay, so you're following it. I says, well, I'm doing one step more. I'm eating right. I'm eating the right kinds of foods. I said, the foods on the shelf today, you can't get the proper nutrition just from what's on the shelf. It's unfortunate, but it's true.
So can I interject here for a moment?
Sure.
Okay, I'd really like to applaud you, especially for your compliance. And for those that are listening live and others that will be listening to the recording, this is reversal and improvement in quality of life. But if we listen to the number of medications that were decreased, the improvement in Ron's quality of life, people talk about or ask the question of cost, and the cost, it's an investment in your life, number one, instead of a cost. And number two, it's priceless, because when you look at a lost work, the cost of medications, and whether people have insurance or not, whether it's a Canadian healthcare system or the American sick care system, it is expensive, and somebody is paying the costs. Insurance rates keep going up. So with the crisis that we have in the world today with obesity and diabesity, new term for type 2 diabetes. We didn't have type 2 diabetes in 15-year-old adolescents, and we do now because of obesity and the lack of exercise and electromagnetic fog and so forth. So the point that we really want to emphasize here in summary is we can help so many people improve the quality of living a life in balance, but where we really want to target is our children and pregnant moms. You know, from the slide that you saw earlier, we really have an epidemic in our youth. Our youth are our future with the economy the way that it is. So if we really kind of look at discovering Nikken, living it, and sharing it, it really becomes an individual, a citizen responsibility to share what we've discovered. And so please let others know about this event every Thursday evening. And if you have a story, share your story on a future event. So you can begin by becoming a customer, and becoming a customer now, there's no fee. The prices are lower than those of us that have been around 20 years. We're paying as members with a membership before. We are also looking for people to join our team as part-time entrepreneurs, doing exactly what Ron did. He began as a customer, and now he's sharing and inviting others, and has both customers and some team members. And then ultimately, many people are able to move into a full-time entrepreneurship role, where they're even able to help enough other people by paying this forward and be able to replace the income they may have. And for many people, for many moms particularly, single parent moms that are juggling a couple jobs, be able to stay home with family and add to that healthy family by having a supplemental or a replacement income. So it's our time is almost up. I really want to thank Michelle. It's exciting to co-host and to become acquainted with so many of you that are listening in and participating. So we want to thank you. Is there anything else, Ron, that you'd like to add in summary, or Michelle?
The only thing I'd like to add is my wife has seen such a dramatic change so fast. Last night she stole my necklace.
Good news.
And she asked, because she's on the water, because I bought the water. I bought the sleep system. She loves the sleep system, and now she wants to go on the Burgess-Roll and Siega, which I'm on as well. So every baby steps, I started it slow, a little bit each time, but everything compounded, and it's just wonderful. I just can't say enough about it. So, and my wife sees it, so that's what she's doing.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Ron, can you remember the first words out of your mouth when I walked into your office?
Absolutely. You walked in, I said, I'm telling you right now, I don't want to sell anything. That was my very first words. The second words is, I said, I'm probably your biggest skeptic. So she did her little spiel with me, and we got talking, and when she discovered about my injury, the first, no questions asked, she just took a bracelet out, snapped it on my wrist. And from there, my life changed. And I can't thank Michelle enough. She knows that. I know I've thanked her a few times. I don't know if I've thanked her enough, because this has saved my life. And I'll tell you something. We had a devastating incident in November. My mother-in-law passed away, and we found out it was metformin poisoning. She had type 2 diabetes. We thought it was because of her heart and that. She was 78. But so the medication that doctors who go to school, it is good for some people. Sometimes you need it. You need to supplement that though, but they're not always right. You have to investigate. You have to take charge and do the right thing and take it by choice. And Michelle showed me that, and I appreciate that.
Thank you, Ron.
May I say something, Michelle and Madeline? This is one of the strongest testimonials I've heard. And I think this testimonial needs to be forwarded to Nikken. And
Absolutely.
make sure that the recording of this particular call is definitely publicized. That's powerful. And congratulations, Ron.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you, Michelle.
Thank you. And please remember, everybody, that we do not make medical claims. We share stories. We tell people about the successes that we are having with the products, the balance in the 5 pillars. Nikken is way, way more than just selling products. It's empowering our lives so that we can become humans being more. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. We do appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you on future calls, and please, please do bring people to, and yourself, share your own stories, because not everybody has had such a dramatic story as Ron, but I think every single one of us has had a product story that has changed our lives, and our story can help somebody else improve the quality of their life. So it is very, very important, no matter how small it may seem, to share your stories. Please, please do. And again, thank you for joining us. I'm going to stop recording now.